When we talk about the current sandbox in Destiny 2 and what the meta is, an ARC 450 RPM auto rifle doesn't really fit, but I think the new and improved Prosecutor has an argument to be made about itself in terms of the new perk pool, as well as the synergy that it's going to have with things like Bolt Charge, as well as some ARC Warlock and ARC Titan builds that I've been dabbling with here and there. I'm not saying you need to go out and farm this weapon. By all means, please choose wisely here when you take anything into the Edge of Fate, but I do think that with the artifact mods that are coming with the Edge of Fate in less than a month, I think this one should at least be on your radar. Hey, I'm Trey, and I make Destiny 2 content right here on YouTube. So if you are just as into this game as I am and want in-depth reviews on weapons, builds, and just straight up gameplay of Destiny 2, then consider subscribing. If you liked this weapon review on the Prosecutor Precision Frame Auto Rifle, then like this video so that some of my other weapon reviews show up on your suggested feed. Consider becoming a channel member because you get every single video uploaded 24 hours early every single time. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and hop in. When it comes to the stats we have at base, my first thought is getting the base mag and stability as high as you possibly can. Starting with our base stats, we have 29 impact, 60 range, 42 stability, 46 handling, 45 reload speed, 34 aim assist. It's got a recoil direction of 69 and a base mag of 31. And this is a precision frame, which means it will intrinsically have more vertical recoil here, but from what I feel in game, that can also be improved. Let's start with polygonal rifling for the barrel perk, giving us that plus 10 bump to stability. This is going to be my first choice here, but if you want a small bump to range and stability as well, you could choose small bore for plus 7 range and stability. Moving on to the mag perk, my mind wants to go directly to bumping up that base mag of 31 with a pendant mag. But again, for me, stability is the focus here. Ricochet rounds, we get a plus 10 bump to stability as well as a plus 5 bump to range, letting our bullets do a little more damage in the longer distance fights. Definitely going to be useful in PvP, as well as some of those damage rotations in PvE when you're hopping out of a damage phase and the enemies are just now spawning. A shining example of why I think this weapon is going to slap so hard when the Edge of Fate comes out is the fact that all of the Rite of the 9 weapons are going to come with the origin trait Gravity Well. It states reloading this weapon automatically gathers nearby ammo that will trigger within a 16-meter range of the player. This weapon also is going to come with the origin trait Crossing Over, which is the original origin trait that came on all of the Prophecy weapons, and Crossing Over states this weapon has increased range and handling for the top half of the magazine, while rounds at the bottom half are going to do increased damage. Now, these aren't static values here. It's going to scale linearly based on how much of the magazine you have left. So for the top half, we're looking at plus 10 range and handling, going down linearly to 5, so 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 in both stats. Then the bottom 50% of the mag, you're scaling your damage up from 1.5% to about 3% extra damage. I think this is a fantastic perk for making sure that groups of ads are cleared as efficiently as possible. And the more that you can stay at 50% of the mag, we'll get into a perk that's going to tie directly into this here in a little bit. I think this is a fantastic way to be playing with this weapon in Destiny 2 right now, especially with the current sandbox. And I know auto rifles are getting no love right now, but this is a fantastic option. The star of the show for me when it comes to the Prosecutor auto rifle is the perk options Bungie decided to give us here. This is truly the best ARC auto rifle in my opinion in this game. Shadow price was super solid, but I feel like the only thing it had going for it was Voltshot, which in my opinion, Prosecutor is just on top in that category. In perk slot 3, we're gonna have Eddy Current, Dragonfly, Subsistence, Attrition Orbs, Keep Away, and Zen Moment. 4 of these perks stand out to me, and I wanna start with Subsistence. This perk states defeating targets partially reloads the magazine from reserves. This perk is gonna grant you about 17% of the mag back, which equates to about 5 rounds back for every final blow with auto rifles and SMGs, and that ties directly into the origin trait Crossing Over, because if you can keep yourself right in the middle of the bottom half of the mag, you're gonna keep Crossing Over active the entire time. So if you can keep around anywhere from 12 to 15 rounds in the mag, this is going to be ideal for you for that constant damage bump. You're going to be constantly doing better damage with this perk. Attrition Orbs is going to be a pretty baller choice for those ad clear fire team members who love to play as an Arc Titan or Warlock and just love supporting the team and keeping supers up. Titans can take huge advantage of DPS against tankier enemies with Storm's Keep, proccing Bolt Charge and creating orbs for your team from the safety of your rally barricade. Warlocks are going to love using this weapon with Ionic Sentry, being able to charge Bolt Charge up more quickly, but also generating orbs in the process. Next up, I want to go over Dragonfly really quick because Dragonfly is Dragonfly. Creating arc explosions for getting critical kills, great for ad clearing red bar enemies in large groups. I'm looking at Thrall, I'm looking at Acolytes, that kind of thing. The perk I'm most excited about here though in perk slot 3 is Eddy Current. In slot 3, This is my number one choice, point blank period. The perk states temporarily increases reload speed and handling after sprinting or while amplified. This effect is improved when you are amplified. The best way to max out reload speed and handling on this weapon with literally minimal effort. Sprinting is just gonna give you an all right bump in your reload and handling stats, but when you're amplified, you receive a massive plus 60 bump to each stat, maxing both of them out. Small mag plus blazing fast reloads equals no problem. So glad to see this perk here. Now let's get a little bit more serious, guys. Perk slot 4 is the literal embodiment of business in the front, party in the back. Rolling Storm, Onslaught, Paracausal Affinity, Voltshot, Tap the Trigger, and Target Lock is what we have on offer in Perk Slot 4, starting with the king of arc synergy perks, Rolling Storm. This perk states Final Blows grant Bolt Charge, while amplified, Final Blows grant additional Bolt Charge. So you're going literally from gaining 1 stack when you're not amplified to 2 stacks when you are. Titans, rejoice. Perfect for chunk damage on a target. I know that we won't be doing DPS rotations with this weapon, but with Overload Auto and SMG artifact mods making a comeback in the Edge of Fate, I think this will be a super solid option for endgame activities that call for an arc weapon. Let's talk about Voltshot. A great choice, yes, but with it requiring a reload to proc, the only way to run this perk successfully, in my opinion, is if you limit yourself with Eddy current in the 3rd perk slot for it to be super useful. But if that's what you're into, Voltshot will work for you. Onslaught is more of a fun perk in my opinion here. This perk states Final Blows with this weapon increase its rate of fire. Stacking 3 times, you gain a 16.7, 28.6, and a 37.5 bump in rate of fire respectively, as well as a plus 15, plus 25, and plus 35 bump to reload speed. I have an Attrition Orbs Onslaught roll that is so much fun to use in activities like Onslaught, Contest of Elders, or Court of Blades, keeping supers up and being able to absolutely mow down waves of enemies. It's not making any waves, but just floating above the surface of viability here. Finally, in Perk Slot 4, my last standout suggestion is Paracausal Affinity. Final Blows with energy types matching this weapon's alignment grant increased damage for a short period of time. Light Final Blows boost arc, solar, and void weapons, and darkness Final Blows boost stasis and strand weapons. It's a flat 20% bump here in damage when landing a final blow from literally any arc, solar, or void source for 6 seconds. The awesome part of this perk is that it can be activated even when the weapon is stowed, and the timer only starts when you ready the weapon. I wasn't too sure about this perk here, but once I got my hands on it, I literally couldn't put it down. Paracausal Affinity is a W perk, and I'm actually going to start experimenting with it on different weapons, so stay tuned for my thoughts on that perk. I'll have a whole video breakdown on just Paracausal Affinity as a whole. Now that we've gone over the stats, the perks, and the origin trait here on Prosecutor, let's talk about the roles that I am farming for and the god roles I think you all should look out for. My perfect role is going to be small bore and ricochet rounds for the barrel and mag perks. I think that Dragonfly and Paracausal Affinity is going to be a combo that is going to be very viable in the near future. Being able to have a 20% damage bump virtually all the time is a win for me. And with Dragonfly being affected here, I think this should be on your list due to this role's ability to just clear the field in those sticky situations. My first god roll suggestion here is going to be Eddy Current and Rolling Storm. Faster reload and handling just for sprinting, and how easy it is to become amplified these days. You are just going to be maxing out these stats just for sprinting, and with Rolling Storm passively generating on final blows, this is a solid choice to bring the storm home to your enemies. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and recommend everyone get this role. As I stated before, I'm not the biggest fan of Voltshot just on this weapon, and I know that sounds stupid, but this weapon specifically, Voltshot for me is not it. But I cannot ignore the fact that Dragonfly and Voltshot is a very good role for this weapon. Dragonfly is a very, very, very strong perk, no matter what weapon it's on. And Voltshot being able to jolt targets is going to make proccing Dragonfly even easier. They're literally going to stand there. Headshots are going to be so easy. I don't know. With Voltshot requiring a reload to proc, I feel like jolting feedback would have been a much better choice here, but I understand that it probably would have been a little busted if I'm being real. Lastly, a role that I would at least keep around in case you want to have a little bit of fun, Subsistence and Onslaught. Onslaught requires the kill to proc, and being able to just feed ammo back into the magazine just for landing a final blow is something I will stand behind all day long. I've been using this role a lot as of recent, and I think that you will too when you see just how much fun this role can actually be. I find myself leaning towards auto rifles more and more just out of sheer nostalgia at this point. I know that Destiny 2 meta is ever changing, and we're probably never going to go back to when Uriel's gift was the powerhouse that it was, but man, mowing down enemies in mass is a great feeling that only Destiny 2 can provide. Prosecutor is not turning any heads, and if you look at the stats, it sure as hell isn't going to replace any of the clearly better options in the energy slot, but if you need a very reliable arc weapon that can make a difference when it comes to build crafting, I think this 450 RPM arc precision frame auto rifle just might do the trick. That has been my review, and I have to ask, is this a weapon you guys are going to carry into the Edge of Fate, or is it just going to collect dust in your vaults once you get that good enough roll? Sound off in the comment section below. Don't forget about my channel partner W Energy, and get 10% off your entire order at w.gg when you use my code TREY9 at checkout. Thank you so much for watching this video, and as always, see you guys in the cosmos.